Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I basically just want to take this opportunity to make this presentation on behalf of Dr. Mwanza, who apparently did the presentation through Microsoft Teams, but the recording we made did not actually come out so good because it had noise and also it was distorted. So I took up this initiative to be able to take up all his writing and made it into this particular video that would actually go for all our students. Now, I just want to say that even as I do this presentation, I am not the source. I am not the co-author. I am simply delivering it on behalf of our doctor, who is actually the registrar from our center. So he's actually responsible for academic courses at the various levels, bachelor and the master's. So even as I present, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually presenting on behalf of Dr. Damiano Mwanza, who is actually the uh, qualified doctor in education management, and he has actually climbed through these ladders. He has been in the ministry for some time, and he understands these things. So I have just sent the presentation to him and also told him that I'm actually sharing this through our means and the way we do our lessons so that we can keep this in our files under the DTLS program. So the title was entitled Unlocking Power of Research, Empowering, Inquiring, Inspiring, and Innovation. This is exactly what the doctor said. So he said that it is a journey where curiosity meets discovery. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually the idea. What was the session objectives? The objectives of the session, ladies and gentlemen, was to understand the fundamentals of research, to explore the research process, and make sure that each and every person who is actually undertaking the research from bachelor and masters is able to understand and be able to do the right thing. Like we said and mentioned from the center point of view, we are going to provide the support you need in everything that would actually make this a success. So let's go to the next slide. It says why research matters. So, four major reasons were actually given, focusing on one, research has an impact to society we live in, and through health, technology, and policy making. He actually says it drives innovation and problem solving. It also enhances career opportunities to individuals and contributes new knowledge academically. Where I'm able to, I'll be able to explain, but where I am not, I would not want to distort doctors' work. Types of research, there are so many among others. These are correct and direct quotation and words that he actually used in his presentation. So, first and foremost, we say basic research. We need to understand basic research. So, we have added this part where we're saying scientific type of research used to understand and extend knowledge. There is also qualitative research, descriptive and information based types of research. And then mixed research combines both qualitative and quantitative. And then there is qualitative research, which is numbers, numerical type of research. We continue with the types of research as additional types. There's academic research, which is a type of research that you can do according to and relevant to your field of study or work. Applied research, designed to identify solutions or answers to a particular question that is applicable. Experimental research explains the laboratory results. And then case study, research through observations about specific individuals or group of people. These are the types of research Dr. Mwanza mentioned. Let's move to the next slide, ladies and gentlemen. The research process. So, the research process, according to Dr. Mwanza Damiano, are 7 steps plan for research writing. So, the first step is identify a problem. So, a problem is an unresolved issue requiring investigation for solutions. And then after that, he did mention that. So, in his explanation, he said that every research that you undertake has to be answering a problem or has to be identifying a problem so that when you do your research in that area, you are actually contributing your body of work in research so that this contributes towards your solving that problem in either community, institution, or even anywhere else. Literature review is the next step in the process. A literature review analyzes existing research to identify knowledge gaps. To identify knowledge gaps. So, a literature review is, according to him, he says it is important that you should take note of what others have written on the subject or your topic. What have they said? What have they written? So you basically look at the world, look at the continent, look at the country, and also go down to the community so that you have all these covered as one academic aspect in terms of solving that problem of yours. So you need to look at what has people or what have people written about this particular subject. It is not true, according to his words, that you can find no person has written anything about your topic. Every time, everywhere, people write. So you can actually find out who has written before you. That is in terms of literature review. So you need to do this part where you write a literature review. So research objectives and research questions. Ladies and gentlemen, the doctor said that literature review research objectives are simply 4 or 3 objectives of the research. So you need to come up with 3 objectives or 4 objectives that are supposed to be given for that particular research. After you've done that, you are also supposed to write 4 or 3 research questions. For example, what is the objective of your research? The objective, a smart objective, would actually be to explore the levels of illiteracy in disabled men and women. So it means that is an objective. A question is basically that objective changed into a question. I don't know, maybe. Uh, uh, how do we, or is there any level of illiteracy in disabled women and girls? So I'm not really very sure, but I think I have tried. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing this on behalf of the doctor. So please, if you definitely want to ask questions, don't ask me, ask the doctor. Research design. Research design is the structured plan for conducting a study. So you need to have a structured plan, to a design that you can use for you to be able to say, okay, this research is designed in this manner, and this is actually how I'll conduct my research. Then the next thing is data collection. That's number 5, ladies and gentlemen, which is saying data collection gathers information systematically for analysis in research studies. So, data collection, this is the process where you go out there to collect data in terms of making sure that you collect that data which you should analyze. We go continue data analysis. So, he said, data analysis interprets collected information to identify patterns, trends, and insights. Now, he said data analysis is actually done using two softwares, and one of them is SPSS. SPSS is a software for statistical analysis in research and data. Okay? Then he said there is also another software which is ASCII, which stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange, for data management and interpretation. Now, by string variables, word form, combine numbers and letters. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, I would not want to distort his work by going into detail, but this is exactly his way of presenting it. So we can take our time and read about SPSS and ASCII. Okay? I'm sure some of us have actually done this at UNZA. When you are doing a bachelor, some people would actually do it as a course on the side. Some people would actually do it as a course on the main courses as one component. So SSP, SPSS, I think it's a popular one. This other one is also popular in other areas. But however, I'll just say that at UNZA, for those of us who have passed there, we know for sure that that was a very, very, very popular course. Conclusion and reporting. Conclusion and reporting summarize findings, interpret results, and communicate research insights clearly and effectively. So, these are the 7 steps plan of your research writing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move. He actually moved to sample size. Sample size, he says, is the number of participants selected for a study. He says, in every study, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important to know that there is a number of people that we call population, to which would take place or participate in providing responses to our questions or our questionnaires. Therefore, he actually gave us a Taro Yamene citation for 1967. He says Taro Yamene devised a formula for us to be able to know the sample size. The formula was saying n is equal to capital N divided by 1 plus n brackets e square root, close brackets. This particular formula, according to the doctor, it has 95% confidence level and 5% error margin. So let's look at n is the sample size, the small n or italic n. Big N is finity population. E is precision error margin, which is 5%, which is 0.05. Usually 0.05 for 95% confidence level. e.g., 792 workers across the country, 269 for single institution. Now, finity population is a limited countable group in research, for example, university students. So, according to him, he says if you want to sample from the university, you would actually look at how many students are there and what sample size do you really need. I think it would be nice for us to sit down and then see what we are talking about. You need to come up with the total finity population. Say, for example, if you have the young ones, you can say, okay, I think we have in this community 300. Then you use this formula to be able to come up with the actual size of your people that would actually participate. Here is actually the way the formula actually works. I think this is from our side, from the center point of view. We actually did this calculation. So it says if a university has 1,000 students, we use a 5% margin of error, which is 0.05. The sample size calculation is n is equal to 1,000 over 1,000 plus 1,000 brackets 0.52. N is equal to 10000 what and all that, because this 0.52 should be a square root. Okay? I think there's just a mistake here. I think this 2 is not supposed to be there. In fact, this 2 is supposed to be square root. I'm sure you understand. I think we needed to finish it to change them. So square root of 0.5 is actually 0.0025, and then it gives you 1,000 times the brackets there, it gives us 2.5. Then 1 plus this, it gives you 3.5, and then this into 1,000, it gives you 286, and that is the required sample size. This is a very good formula, and ladies and gentlemen, this is brilliant. Let's look at the next on the slides, research ethics and integrity. He said ethics are actually very important when you are conducting a research. So research ethics and integrity ensure honesty, fairness, and respect in studies. Ladies and gentlemen, I actually said I'm doing this on behalf of the doctor. In his words, he said, you need to conduct yourself in a research manner, even to the people that you are actually going to present yourself to. He at one point said that there are certain of us that have actually taken long in making sure that our reports or research is actually passed because of our way of doing things. We are not honesty, we are not doing things in a fair manner, and also we do not respect in terms of the studies that we are undertaking. So here are some of the things that we actually look at in terms of ethics and whatever. Plagiarism and academic honesty. In terms of plagiarism, what is plagiarism? Ladies and gentlemen, it is using someone else's work without credit, presenting it as your own. You go in someone's work, say for example, you go in a book, you copy a paragraph and you put it in your report, and then you pretend this is actually your words in totality without citing, without calling for citation, where you say, okay, this was written by, you see. So that is what they call plagiarism. For example, copying a paragraph from a research paper without citing the original author. So we need to always cite the person who wrote that particular. So even when you are doing the literature review, you need to get these citations from people that will make sure that you include in the review or in the research literature review, so that we know or people know that this person actually wrote about it earlier before you. Academic honesty. Academic honesty means maintaining integrity by avoiding plagiarism, cheating, and misrepresentation in research and studies. Ladies and gentlemen, academic honesty might act, some people might not be the ones that are conducting the research. They would actually give someone else to do the entire research without necessarily them doing it. Now, if you remember very well, those of us who attended the meeting, the doctor said that you, especially for those of us who are actually studying a master's, you will do your presentation in person where you simply defend each and every part. Now, obviously, are talking of the requirements in terms of standards, defense which is supposed to be done in the next semester that we are going into, where you do your presentation and defend your papers, everything from stage one to the last stage, you are simply defending. So they should actually see you. According to Dr. Mwanza, you're supposed to be seen in terms of how you express yourself or how you talk in terms of English and all that. That is just for the master's level. For the bachelor's level, there is literally nothing. It's just writing in a better way and sharing it like that. So, for example, properly citing sources in a research paper instead of copying without acknowledging. So, that is plagiarism. And the next thing, ladies and gentlemen, is informed consent and confidentiality. Informed consent ensures participants voluntarily agree to research after understanding its purpose, risks, benefits, and confidentiality. Now, an example is I have read the above information, understand the purpose of this study, and agree to participate. In all the documents that we prepare, all the things that we actually prepare to do, ladies and gentlemen, we are saying, and according to Doctor's words, he says, you need to make sure that there is consent from the person who is actually going to help in terms of giving responses on so the questionnaire must have such words in terms of informed consent. Confidentiality. Confidentiality protects participants' data, ensuring their information remains private and usually ethical in research. Now, what we are saying, ladies and gentlemen, and according to Doctor's words, confidentiality is an aspect that it raises the confidence of the person that whatever they are doing to provide data to you, that particular data would be kept for the purpose of research and not to be used in a different way. So you need to assure them by simply stating that whatever you are collecting from them shall be in almighty be kept without sharing. It is for the purpose of the research, and that is what you will use it for. An example, researchers store survey responses anonymously and secure data with password protected files so that people do not access it. So this is exactly the other thing. Responsible data management. Data management, ladies and gentlemen, when you talk of responsible, it involves securely collecting, storing, analyzing, and sharing research data while ensuring accuracy, confidentiality, and compliance with ethical guidelines. So these are things that we are actually talking about. We definitely want to say that from our point of view, from the center's point of view, we really want this information to actually reach out to each and every gatekeeper and see to it that the gatekeeper understands that we need to have this responsibility in terms of data management. We need to make sure that we secure this data collection. We should not involve other people who are actually not involved, who may actually be uh, detrimental to your studies in terms of not making you graduate because you have not followed the ethics, and also you have not really used an authorized way of conducting a research. I've added. So let's look at the research supervision. Research supervision involves guiding, mentoring, and supporting researchers to ensure academic integrity, methodological rigor, and successful project completion. Ladies and gentlemen, each and every person out there, a gatekeeper, as long as you are studying with this program, you are going to have a supervisor. This supervisor will be allocated to you, and this supervisor will make sure that you go through from step one up to the last step. And according to Dr. Mwanza, he said that each level has the supervisor's authority and approval. So if you do your literature review, the supervisor will go through and say yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very new program that we are actually doing online. Some of these things, when you look at them, they are actually conducted within the campus and all that. So, in terms of online, the Center for E-Learning comes in with the technicalities that would actually support you so that you do not travel and all that, because it will be very expensive for you. Therefore, our people that would actually supervise, our people even from the university, because the people that will be assigned will be known to us and would always guide those supervisors. We know, yes, quite well, they are very highly qualified people, but we will show them. I'm sure you would agree with me that most of these professors, whatever, know that they are actually born before computers. So most of them would actually not really be so comfortable. Even when they actually use these computers, they may not be so comfortable with this technology and all that. So, what we are doing at the center, we intervene and try to make sure that this thing is actually handled well so that our gatekeepers deserve the best they can without spending additional amounts apart from what they have paid for the fees for the supervisor. So this is exactly the role of the center, and that is why you see that even this particular presentation, we have actually taken it up, and I personally have taken it up to make sure that I present so that people can understand and be able to. However, I am doing this on behalf of the doctor. I'm sure you understand that. Face to face interaction is another part. This is very important. Face to face interaction. What is face to face interaction? In research, it involves direct in person communication between researchers and the participants, fostering engagement and clarity. This is another part where I would say that it is a standard rule that when you are conducting research, you need to be face to face with the lecturer or the people that are actually supervising you. However, that is a standard when you are talking of on campus studies. But when it comes to online, it means that the face to face would actually change to online or virtual. You can actually do a video call, you can actually do uh, Google Meets, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and other methods that would actually make you see each other as you are communicating. So, this is exactly the factors or the things that we would actually want to see. And that's why you see us trying to make sure that we use this technology so much. So, example, conducting in depth interviews to collect qualitative data. Important consideration for students or gatekeepers: maintain professionalism, active listening, and ethical guidelines, ensuring respect and confidentiality during interactions. Okay? Time management and appointments. Time management in research involves planning, prioritizing, tasks and meeting deadlines efficiently. Example, creating a research timeline to allocate time for data collection, analysis, and writing. Appointments. In research, appointments refer to assigning roles or responsibilities to individuals for specific tasks. Example, a supervisor appoints a research assistant to collect survey data. So this is something that we really need to know. And according to Doctor, it says every researcher has that responsibility to make sure that the appointments are actually made in a manner that reflects the standards of research. The other ways, important ways, university library, use of university library during the research is actually something that is so academic. So a university library provides academic resources for research, study, and learning. So we really need to make sure that we use that. Now, for e-learning, ladies and gentlemen, we might not have a physical library. We are talking about online libraries, and there are plenty of them, free and paid. Both are actually there online. So you just simply type online library free, then it comes, or paid, then it means you have to pay. Online database. An online database stores and provides digital access to research. These are some of the platforms that we would actually find that they have databases of information that you can actually access during your research. You find a lot of those things online once you search through Google or you research through other AI platforms that have actually cropped up. You can do that. Research workshops. Research workshops provide training and guidance on methodologies, analysis, and academic writing. So these are workshops. I know in on-campus situations, you would actually be able to have workshops within the school so that you can handle that. But I think I would actually encourage those that are like, say, for example, you are doing masters, you are four of you in Mansa or you are in Mwanzawombe or wherever, you can actually hold these research workshops together. Just plan them. So invite someone who is actually better, who has actually done it before, then you can have that workshop and it would really help you so that you do not spend a lot of money traveling and all those looking for things and whatever. So you can have a lot of good guidance with people in the localities. Those who have done a master's can actually help. Those who have done a bachelor's before, they can actually help. Peer support groups. Peer support groups in research provides collaboration, motivation, and knowledge sharing among researchers. So you find that these things are actually there, and where you both those who are doing degree, bachelor, or masters, you can actually interact and provide a support group that would actually help others so that all of us are actually doing the right thing from the word go. So, research supervision is crucial for students as it provides guidance, mentorship, and academic support throughout the research process. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. Now, according to Doc, he says some challenges in research are actually there and they exist. Okay? So, we have some challenges, and these challenges do actually exist. So, both ways or all the way in terms of the process. So, challenges in research include limited resources, time constraints. You're supposed to go this way, but you are in class, or you're supposed to do this, but there's a workshop, or you're supposed to collect data from this side, but there's a funeral, and all those commitments. So that is exactly what we are talking about here. In terms of data collection issues, some people would not give you that you want, or ethical concerns. Time management, work amid other responsibilities. It is normally difficult. You are actually HOD you are supervising the other side. You need to be moving here and there to do whatever and all that. So it becomes another problem. Visitation and appointment issues. Sometimes, when you talk of these issues in research, involves scheduling conflicts, accessibility barriers, and participant availability affecting data collection. You tell the person I'll come at 14, the person at 14 is not there. So that becomes another problem. Conflicts during research journey. Visitation and appointment issues in research involves scheduling conflicts, accessibility barriers, and participant availability affecting data collection. So those are some of the things that we actually wanted to look at, especially as Doc wanted to make sure that they are presented in that manner. So some of the solutions, ladies and gentlemen, it's stay focused and organized. And the staying focused and organized in research ensures efficiency, accuracy, and timely completion by managing tasks, deadlines, and resources effectively. For research feedback, being focused in research ensures clarity in objectives. And then also for materials and data organization, being focused helps systematically organize materials and data, ensuring easy access, accuracy, and efficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what the doctor wanted to communicate. It was unfortunate that only 27 people actually attended that particular day when we had that meeting out of 230. So to us, it was not achievable, it was not successful. However, here we are, we have now, from the center point of view, developed a lesson from that. And I personally am excited to be part of this journey, and I take up this opportunity to do this presentation on behalf of Dr. Manza, who apparently is going to be your contact. And he did mention that you can call him at any time and find out. And therefore, allow me to simply say thank you very much for your participation and for your patience, for your support of this program, the TTIS program, and everything that we have done together. I know too well that there are some people who would have loved this to be exactly done directly from the university, because obviously that thing would actually make them be people that would actually feel that they have passed through such hands. However, the Center for E-Learning, ladies and gentlemen, is really committed to making sure that this program comes to a halt in 2028, and making sure that we have a good number of gatekeepers that would actually help us spread this technology literacy in all the schools across this country. Therefore, I am saying, for more information about this presentation, send an email to research topics, and that directly contact Dr. Damiano Mwanza on that number. Also, the center director, which is me, on that line. I think you are used to that line, but Dr. Mwanza's line is the most important, because we would be working with him most of the time, especially for the people that are actually doing masters. The bachelors will also make sure that we have people that would actually help, like, closely. So that number again is 0977 You can actually call. And he actually mentioned himself that you can only call between 7:30 to 18 hours. Please do not call him midnight or 20 hours or 03 or 14 hours. Oh, no, sorry, not 14. Late hours, awkward hours. Please call him between 7:30 and 18 hours. Then he'll be able to guide you purely academic. It will help. Okay, so this presentation, ladies and gentlemen, has been made with the help of Center for E-Learning as the best online learning platform developing in Mother Zambia and making sure that we do the best for everyone. I call this a good thing. Thank you very much, everyone.